Yo, what's up guys, it's zaqq. Welcome back to the channel. Last couple of days we've been streaming some EVE Online and testing out this crazy Muninn fit. I will say I didn't really come up with the original one. I'm trying to find out who gave Megator the fit, because he was the guy I was watching on stream and he gave us it. Now I knew obviously the Muninn's been changed a little bit since last year when it had like guns and things. So it's been changed to a heavy assault missile platform now. And man, it's like really cheap. I think because no one's really using it now. The prices are just like went way down, and yeah, it's just an absolute beast in the T4. So the whole thing's around 200 and it can pretty much easily do T4s. There's only a couple of waves where you really need to be careful. I'll probably link on the screen right now of me losing a couple of the original fits, and we did tinker with the fits as we go, and I've got the final form one here to show you. It's still like just as cheap, if not cheaper. And man, it's yeah, it's so good. I'm really like blown away at how cheap this is just to run the T4s. Yeah, so let's dive into the fit real quick. There it is guys, the Muninn based on the Rupture hull with the amazing base skin it comes with. No need for skins on this thing, it looks just so good with the green and like dark green camo there. But yeah, so you will need heavy assault cruisers to run it, which means you will need cruiser for level 5 on Minmatar, which is a long train, which might put a few people off, but it's totally worth it. And it opens the Loki as well, so why not? Which we have got lurking around here just to do some web testing really soon. But first up, let's have a look at the bonuses you get. Okay, with the skills per level, I do recommend training heavy assault cruiser up to at least 4. I mean, 5 obviously is the best one to go for because you're getting the max amount of bonuses from the ship, but try and get at least 4 to run the Abyss if you're new out of the game, especially, or you're just trying out the Abyss for the first time, because bonuses do matter, especially on this ship, because per level we do get explosion velocity, and that's a big factor into dropping your damage onto targets with the heavy assault missile launchers. We get a rate of fire bonus as well, and we'll get a damage bonus, so we'll get double dip on the damage, which is really nice, and we'll get 3% to the shield and armor, so obviously armor fit right now, so that's more important. So basically we're double dipping in damage, we get tank, and we'll get application all in one, which is really cool. Now we can use assault damage control, which makes you pretty much invincible for a few seconds, but on this fit we've decided not to go with it. I'm sure if you wanted to use that just for some extra safety, you could probably drop a ballistic and go for it. But this is just like the fit I've came up with and worked out. This is the best one, like for my personal playstyle. I mean, the Abyss, it's pretty much the same for everyone, right? So the only real problem you have in the Abyss is the Triglavians, which we've like tanked for right now. And the assault damage control would certainly help, but you're going to lose a little bit of DPS, right? So that's why we haven't done that. Okay, there's the fit laid out for you. So max DPS with the missiles unheated is 667. I haven't included drones there just because most of the time you'll probably not be using the drones because they're unbonus the lights and they just get like wrecked straight away. So they're pretty good just for adding a little bit of damage onto the battleships, you know, when everything's dead and you're just focusing on that. I found that's a pretty good way. So we'll just exit and then sim again. So 748 all in, including the Warrior 2s there. So just make it clear about that. And look at the price as well, guys. 185.1 million ISK, and in reality it's only 199. So if we buy it up here, we're sitting in jitter. 199, well, just literally 100k away from 200 mil. That's insanely cheap compared to some of these other ships that we've been using. I've got some like price differences here to go over in a minute, but yeah, it's literally just, that's what makes it so good, and that's why it's been a draw for like me to use, because I'm like either at the end of the spectrum or the highest. Like I like going super expensive, or I like using these like ultra budget cheaps in the Abyss like I did with the Gila. But even the Gila's like now 400 just for the hull or something, isn't it? I think the cheap Gamma fit's like 600 mil, so it's like less than half price compared to this. Right, so if we just go from the top then, we've got Heavy Assault Missile Launcher 2s, Tech 2 Afterburner, Large Compact Acid Battery, so that's just like the one that fits, the best named one. And really, that's just to allow us to use the Tech 2 Stasis Webs, and we're mega stable anyway, so it's not really going to hurt. I think if you use the Tech 2 version of that, or even a Republic fleet, you only go to like 72 or something, so it's not really worth it. And you've got to drop the webs down to the meta ones. So if you use the meta ones, we're only 55 velocity And obviously the T2s will get the extra 5% up to 60, and that does actually make a difference, and we'll again go over that really soon. A medium armor repair tech 2. So you see this stuff's like mega cheap, and if we just view the market on pretty much the only pimp mod we've got, it's only 2.7 mil, so yeah, that's really nice as well. The resistances though, we can go over. We've got the reactive armor hardener. Now you might think the explosive and the connect's pretty low. I mean the explosive especially because the trigs do that, but I found the trigs are the only things that can like really cause us an issue. I have lost a few of these to like the Kikimoras and everything. Like the Kikis just absolutely destroyed this. I was really shocked at how fast it died. So we've tanked up well for the thermal because the trigs don't do as much explosive as the thermal. And by the time they're in close and stuff and you've had a few shots, the reactive's like boosting the explosive up a little bit. So that was me thinking on that. You can put extra tank in here if you drop a ballistic control. So we've got 3 though, just to increase that DPS. I found if you have got like 2 battleship rooms, you're going to be taking like 6-7 minutes per one. I mean, it is pretty high damage, but it's not really like stupidly high compared to the other ships, right? So you've got to really like try and max it out. You can put like the damage mods and everything in here, the damage rigs and stuff, just to max it up a little bit more if you're only using 2. But yeah, I would definitely recommend just trying to throw on as much damage as you're comfortable with. And yeah, the reactive, like I just mentioned. Now, the rigs are only T1 because the Tech 2 rigs of these versions are like an extra 40 mil per. So you're adding an extra 80 mil on top of the fit by using T2 rigs. And really, they are like obviously worth it. But for the price, since we're trying to keep it like super low, it's like the Tech ones do just fine. And really, the accelerator especially, we're only like gaining 0.7 of a second, so it takes it down to like 7 seconds bang on. That actually does make a difference, but for this fit, I think we're totally fine rocking T1s. I've got the usual amounts of ammo. We've got some Caldari Navy, and we've got some Rage. Now, Rage is pretty much what we use exclusively. We'll only use the Caldari Navy stuff for even more application, a little bit more range on the full drone rooms, and maybe some of the Damovic rooms as well, if you're heavy on the dams. Because they do like way more damage to them for some reason. And we've got a bit of nanipe, some warriors. Now we do take the drugs, although you don't have to take these like straight off the bat, but I would probably recommend you do the crash booster. So that basically gives you more application on top of your bonus. It's only 3 mil. And your exile, it's only 2. So you're looking at 5 mil. So it's like 10 mil an hour basically to use those. And they do actually give you a decent amount of repair bonus for this one, so it's an extra 6%. And the crash booster gives you minus 6% explosion radius velocity, so more damage basically that you're getting when you shoot. But yeah, hopefully you like that fit, guys. I did tinker with it quite a lot. We did lose a few again. Hopefully I've showed you some of the losses on the screen there. And yeah, so if you want to skip to the run, I'll put the chapters in this one as well, but if you want to stick around just to go over like how the webs actually affect the damage, because I was quite surprised at how these like webs are working like pretty much on this. Yeah, stick around. So just to go over the other comparable cheap fits for T4s slash maybe T5s, we've got the Cerberus, which is actually 590 mil. So that's a pretty good fit though. You've got the web, a bit of pimp on there. You can make it a little bit cheaper, but it's going to be nowhere near as cheap as this. We've got the Gamma Gila, which is the one from the video I actually made ages ago. Now, the price of that's just obviously skyrocketed. Even if we drop all of the implants, let's have a look. Because you can't actually get away without running that. Still like over 500 mil. Actually, still pretty reasonable in terms of things. And then the only one that really compares is the Sacrilege, which is pretty much the same fit. It's similar style. The damage I think is a little bit more on this because of the bonuses. Let's just chuck that in. Yeah, so we'll get more damage. We'll get more range. We'll still get the webs on it as well, and we'll get the dual rep, so it's pretty good. And you don't really need any we've got one like thermal armor rig because the resistances are so good. It's got a 5% per level resistance versus the 3% of the Muninn. But yeah, that's another good option. I think originally when the Abyss came out, the Sacrilege was the one people were using in the high tiers. I think the T5 at the time was the highest. I'm pretty sure Satonia was using this in the docks. So yeah, it's a good option. and it's only 319 mil more, and that's with all the rest of the implants, not the implants, sorry, the boosters and all that sort of thing, and the faction drones. So yeah, that's another good one. But again, does it compare to our 199 mil-esque Muninn? So I suppose the zaqq, if you can use the armor hacks, yeah, if you know, you know. Definitely the zaqq is a good cheap alternative, I would say. You can, man, you could make this super cheap. I might look into this actually. But yeah, so that's the Muninn. Now let's jump into some Abyss. I've already got these pre-recorded, so I'll do some commentary over. Obviously, I'll speed the footage up a little bit. There's no point sitting there like the whole 15, 18 minutes or whatnot. Okay, diving into the Abyss, the first one I'll show you is the Karen room, which is pretty tanky. This one takes a lot of time, about 7 minutes if you're not doing it speedy. So the general thought process right now is to just kill some stuff on the way, grab the loot first, just to save time coming back to get it after you've killed Karen, and then just try and get to Karen as quick as possible. So the cool thing is about having the 2 webs now as well, is that once we get to Karen, we can sort of like web her in place, and once you're orbiting that anyway, it stops her like traveling off, because her AI on that battleship just wants to get away from you all the time, and we're actually going to use that to our advantage in a minute just to save some time. So on the way to Karen, obviously don't direct approach, or you'll I don't think you'll die really, but you'll take a couple of big heavy blows, and if she gets a wrecking shot, man, that could push your tank over the edge. So we're just overheating the AB here just to get super close. Again, still killing stuff on the way as well. So we've got 1 web now, and then it's just a case of shooting all the other stuff, putting an orbit up so Karen can't do any damage to you, and yeah, just grinding through the HP pretty much now. I think I cut it right here to where we're actually gonna use Karen's AI against her here. So you can see we're pretty much like quite far away from the gate, like it was 30k. So all we've done is taken the webs off, and now everything else is dead. We can sort of juggle that towards the gate. So think of it as like reversing a big like semi-rig into a gate or whatever, or into a position. So we want to get the drifter battleship in between us and the gate, then we can sort of steer her, because like I say, all she wants to do is just get away from us. So you can see we're moving out really close to the gate here, and just pulse your AB, you know, just use your manual pilot in here, and once you're pretty close to the gate within jump range, that's going to save you like a 30km travel. And just because we're on the lower side of DPS in this ship, it is actually worth doing these things just to make sure you get through like the rooms quick enough. It was like, I did get a spawn, I did mention earlier that there was 2 battleship rooms, and I just made it out with a 3rd room in time, so you've got to really watch it. Next up is the Tessela drone room, and don't underestimate this room, guys. It does a lot of damage, and you can see here that I made some mistakes. I flew into a tracking cloud and a speed cloud at the same time, so I was pretty much like losing me ship right here. So I decided that I had to take the drugs and everything and overheat and just fly away in a straight line just to mitigate as much damage as I could. So yeah, you've just got to, even though it's got a really strong tank, you've still got to watch like these things. So yeah, hitting the drugs there, the application, just to kill them a little bit quicker too, overheating. But yeah, I thought I was going to die here, but luckily we pulled it back. So yeah, you've just got to be a little bit vigilant when you're flying it, that's all. You got to remember it's just a 200 mil ship at the end of the day. Moving on to the next couple of rooms, this is using the older fit with less damage, so just bear that in mind. So the new one does actually spam these rooms a little bit quicker. So this one's the Marshal room, so we've got a nice little beefy Marshal there. Normally I would 180 and just kill it from range or whatnot, but for the Muninn, because we're pretty short range, like 17k or 20k with the Caldari, we've got to just get up there. So we'll kill both the Marshals, the part damaged anyway. The tank wasn't that bad. And this one doesn't tank as much as the new fit as well, so we'll keep that in mind too. But yeah, not a problem at all. And then it's just basically just sweeping up the rest of the little ships. So pretty good. I did make a mistake there though of launching me drones when there was a Skybreaker and a Stormbringer in the room. So yeah, that was just a massive mistake. Dropped a lot of damage there, and just in case we had like a battleship spawn or something, that could have made the difference. Next one is the Devoted Knight, still using the old fit as well. So just to show you the rooms themselves, I haven't got it recorded with the new fit, that's all. So just bear in mind more damage on the new one and more tank. So pretty much easy. We've got Tech 2 Minmatar, so we've got like crazy AM resists already as natural, and the Reactive going on there as well. So this one is an actual piece of cake. We do get webbed down quite a bit, so yeah, you do spend a bit more time going to the can, getting your loot and getting to the gate on this one though, because it's like 20 odd k away or whatnot. So it's a good bet just to head straight for the can and then kill these devoted knights as they come in. And it wouldn't be an Abyss video without showing you one of the worst rooms you can probably get, which is the Cynabal room. And man, these do a lot of alpha damage, so it's not too bad usually. And then suddenly you get like 7 webs on you from all the frigates and that. Now it is possible, or I used to think like go for the webs or whatever, but just going for the Cynabals, just get the damage off the room. And then it's just absolutely cake. And you can grind through them pretty easy with this, you know, like decent damage, more in the new fit again. Sorry for keep repeating it, but I feel like a bit of a scrub for showing you the old fit when I'm like showcasing the newer one. But again, it's just to show you the actual rooms themselves. But yeah, just business as usual here. Just grind up the Cynabals, kill the support, and then go for the loot. And hopefully it's something spicy. So in the next section of the video, we're going to be going over how the hams actually lay down the damage with different speeds and stuff. So I have got zaqq and the Loki, and I'm using the Muninn on Dirk here on the alt. So yeah, it could be interesting for you guys, but if you're done with the video right now, you just want to try the Muninn, thanks for watching this far. And if not, let's just crack on. Alright guys, so we've got zaqq sitting in a Loki here. Let's just take a look at the fitting real quick. So on the armor, we've got only 10% bonus to what we're going to be shooting against. So it's pretty much easy to work out the damage and stuff. And we're just sitting at 105. Let's try and set it at 100 there if we can. That's a bit of a pain to do with the mouse. So at around, what I've worked out is at around 100 ms on cruisers, you can still apply pretty much your full DPS because of the inner chip bonuses and stuff. So if we just give him a shot, we'll give him 2 actually because he's got a bit of shield. So we can see the numbers there. Right, 1 shot. Let's see what we do. It should be around 15. So 15, 15. So that's not too bad. So now if we look at what Alpha Strike, it's 1687. So we're doing like 15. So that's that could equate to like 10%. So we're pretty much doing, we're max damage at 100 velocity. So even though we can't slow him down like even more, and if he's doing 100 and we're dropping down with 1 web, obviously he's going to drop down to 40 ms. Adding another web, it takes him down half that again, down to 20 or 20-ish. The way the stacking works. Just give him another volley there. So you'll see it's pretty much the same sort of damage. Give him 1 more. It's around the 15 mark. Yeah, so 15, 16 again. So we've got with full damage there. Ooh, I'll try not to kill me Loki real quick, yeah. I should have tanked him up a bit more, like with armor hit points for this. Right, so if now we set a bigger orbit up and we'll go sort of full speed. If we can go, let's drop the webs here. So I can show you. Sorry for switching around the clients there. If we're set to like 400 maybe. That'll be a good baseline. Okay, so we're doing 400 on the nose pretty much. We'll give them 1 shot. So there's 630. So that's like literally less than half the damage. We'll go a little bit higher. So he's reaching 450. We'll give him a shot when he hits 500. There we go. He's doing about 520 by the time that hit. So 507. So you can see we're doing like a third of a DPS pretty much. So yeah, you've got to really make sure you're using these webs. But anything at around 100, cruiser size is not too bad for doing damage, right? So you can like get away without using the webs because some of the cruisers will be out of your web range because we're only using like the Tech 2s. It's only a 10 kilometer, and if we heat, it's only like what, 13. So like heating webs is pretty good, and they definitely help you with the small drones and things. So yeah, I think with the web testing over and the damage. Now I only showed you the rage ammo as well. Sorry, I did forget to mention that's like we're max DPS ammo. We can apply more damage to smaller stuff easily with the Caldari Navy things. But for the most part, because I'm just lazy, I like just to use the one type. Except the drone rooms and things, which I think I did mention earlier. But yeah, pretty cool ship again. It's just the price versus performance, which just makes it absolutely crackers. Okay, let's wrap it up now. Thanks so much for spending the time. It's been quite a long one, 20 minutes or something like that, which is longer than my usual. But yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Some Tengu stuff coming up soon, and I will see you in the next one.